Pretty from afar, pretty gross up close. Ah. Attack. Oh my goodness, everything's falling over. Okay, we got this. All right. Seems like you guys can hear me. I'm gonna turn myself up a little bit, knock me into the yellow, just to the yellow. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Let's shift this slightly so it's facing my voice. Cool, cool, cool. It has been a long time since I've streamed, actually. I've been kind of on a hiatus from everything. Yeah, I had to take a break. I was just having a bad time. But I pulled through. We're going to design some shit, try to get back to people that we dropped for a month straight. See what happens. All right, I'm going to put the blast out. I'm going to go to a full face scene. I don't know what this is. Sure. I'm going to drop that there for now. You deserve love. Okay. Let's hop into
for right now. Actually, this
It doesn't
this one
matter,
specifically just because of the
macro.
montage, but this like health thing, like taking damage, that would be
Yeah.
reused.
Yeah, then again, macro shouldn't matter. Like if you want to
Someone told me it's like good for
redo,
organizing.
well, organizing is good, but if you want to add or remove or do any changes to that code, you just need to open up the macro and do the changes in there. So
Yeah.
there's no why not? Like you can macro that, and you can have other stuff here that is just one big like this. There's two lines here. Like there's a from the branch to the function, and there's a return value that goes to it, right? So you can
Yeah.
take the return value thing and put in a macro, and I guess you can take all of that and put in a macro. Yeah. Why not? But why?
Okay.
It's not that messy, is it? But,
Oh no, I just kind of started like commenting things just to organize myself.
yeah, this is better. I honestly, as me, I'm not an expert, surely, but that's probably why I would be a better person to tell, because I'm not an expert. It makes more sense when you see it like that in comments, right?
Yeah.
Especially for me that I'm hopefully above amateur when it comes to programming. Like I'm not a newbie. I'm not just starting, but I'm far from good. I don't write my own codes yet because maybe I'm mostly lazy, but understand and read. But you cannot read when it comes to macros. So all of a sudden in the macro, you need to go into the macro.
Yeah, you got to
then,
go into it and stuff.
yeah, it confuses the shit out of people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Commenting like this, putting comments within comments saying that this is this. Anything within green is this, and anything within red, do not touch it. And it's everything within this color you can change and do whatever you want with.
Can you guys hear me?
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, now we hear you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm getting like really blurry spots, and I'm not exactly sure why. Because when I go in, it definitely has detail in it. It's just whenever I get far away enough, I guess it just
I
loses
think
quality.
that's LODs.
Yeah.
What do you
How would
mean?
I-
Oh yeah. This you have yeah. From the looks of it, you have
I'm just working on putting this on blast, and then I'm going to run through making all of the I'm going to run through what I'll be doing for the stream and the characters that I'm going to try to make. Also, I'll be taking some recommendations for characters that I'll be making. So yeah, it'll be a minute. I'm actually going to disable my face cam for a couple seconds. Sorry about that. Okay.
Set 5 and build.
Okay, 5.
Yep, 5 and build.
Build.
Save it
What
as
do I
the
do,
VT
save?
mat SVT. VT
Draw
mat
as-
SVT. Yeah, VT mat.
As it is.
Yep. The mat is the one you're using as the actual virtual texture. The SVT is the source. Or, well, but yeah, we'll call it like the, not the source, actually.
So now
The
what?
opposite of source. Now, let it compile. Do the same for height.
Okay.
But it's still weird.
I need to snag my stream really quick. Give me 1 moment. Just waiting for a text message. Nothing. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is how you get a dad bod. You sit around 30 modeling and drinking beer. Still waiting for an SMS from Twitch. Doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't matter. I don't need it. Cool. Oops. Putting the blast out on Twitter. Sorry guys, I'm almost done. I'm actually going to get to what I planned on doing for 2 hours. Excuse me. I'm just looking for hashtags. Hashtags are always the worst for me. I never know which ones to use. Sometimes they're super useful and like bring in a ton of traffic. Sometimes they're terrible. Game dev. Game development. Indie dev, indie game. Indie game developer. Hashtag 3D modeling. Okay. Tweeted. Let's get some music playing. Music. Let's get some music.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Facts. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. Facts. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. Facts. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We can unify and then I'll go.
I feel like I shouldn't be watching this video. I've never heard it before. And I don't want to do a react, but I can't listen deeply enough to know whether or not I agree with what he's saying.
You need a fast car. You need designer clothes. You need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt, and go live at the club till you're broke. It's all controlled by the elites. Put fake news all over our streets, convincing the right to provide with the left and distract from the fact it's each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on
Okay, while you guys are watching that, I'll be back.
if we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws that govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. Hey, the music we make, all about big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa. We watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle we can't break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. The music will make you dumb. The media makes you hate. And they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos. Economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Sorry about that. Did this already stop playing music?
The doctor said to talk to him if I wanted to get off my meds, but I never called his office and poured the bottle in the garbage can. I'm stuck in this apartment and I'm anxious like the cops are here. I tried to call like all my friends, none of them are answering. Is this the moment where I can't control it? Got no appetite, I guess the party's over. I can't sleep at night and I keep rolling over cause my skin is itchy and the paranoia got me worried, sick, and it is so annoying. I've been throwing up and
Almost
look like
done.
motor oil, but I chose to quit and now I
don't
can't
know
avoid it. The
what's
right things to do are
Blender?
the hardest choices. Is this the moment when I need a donor? Liver failing from the liquor pouring, while the room is spinning. It ain't vodka soda. What is almost killing me is being sober. Talk about pitfalls, surrounded by brick walls. This is what kids call withdrawal. Deleted every number from my phone. I'm staying home.
So, today,
Drunk with all my friends. I'm gonna beat it or I won't and overdose.
today we're going to be doing some Blender modeling. I wanted to make some enemies for my game. I have a couple in mind. My game isn't something... I plan to release it, but I don't think I ever plan to finish it. It's an interesting idea, and I really only planned on making it for me and my friends. Turn this down a little bit. Yeah, I only really planned on releasing it for my friends, but the general idea right now is I used to play D&D a lot. You know, I'm a game developer. It's not an exclusive club, but I feel like there's a cohort there of people that a large cohort of people that play D&D and are making games. But anyways, I wanted to have some sort of 3D game experience where I could run them through a pre-made story, and when they jump out of like the lane that I created, I could inhabit the world as a DM, or a DM could inhabit the world to go in and change whatever they needed to. So the very base of that is still an RPG where people can jump in. People have like fighting, and they have interactions with NPCs. That's all fine. There are going to be clues and stories kind of built into this world, and that's already, I wouldn't say, not even close to mostly done, but I have like a basic attack system, I have a basic quest system, and like all of it is replicated relatively well, testing between two people, right? And some of what I need to do now is, since I'm the only one developing this, I have to create monsters. And since the world is so large and you can kind of go in a ton of different directions, I need a lot of monsters that kind of fit a bunch of different biomes. So right now, I just finished developing the base of the first town, which is called Aqua. Each one of the towns is based off of like an astrology sign. So Aquarius, you have a church. The church was built on top of a stone that has water flowing from it. So it's kind of like a geyser, but it's just a river flowing from the stone out of the earth. The church was built on top of that, so water is flowing out of the church, and the priests from that church have little vases on their head, right? It's cheesy, it's cute, whatever. It doesn't matter. But this is the first town that all of the characters kind of join in on, and it's the last town that they're going to experience as they're running through the world. Again, a lot of this is going to be driven by me live, so I don't have to build it into the world, but there's still things that they need to experience, and I want to have, since I have the ability to model, I want to make sure that I'm modeling everything custom. So there's one thing in the game right now that's not custom, and it was from a fantastic low poly modeler named Quaternius, and it's a cow. It is glorious, and I'll be keeping it in the game forever. Right now, there are a bunch of priests mad at the cow because the cow is in front of the church door, like blocking the door, and it won't move, right? It doesn't matter. Anyway, so the things that I'm going to be modeling today are relatively simple. It's all low poly, the goal being less than 200 tries per character. And the very first one that I'll be doing, I think, is going to be a slime. And I have a couple things that I want to, haven't decided on yet. So how is the slime going to move? One thing that I've never seen in a game. So a slime is like an amorphous blob, right? So the idea that I have there is, instead of the slime like hopping to get to where it needs to go, I kind of want it to roll towards, roll around wherever it's going, and have its eyes kind of smash, right? So there are a couple of ways that I could do that. I could make it a soft body, which might be how I have to make it. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know if I can export soft bodies to Unreal like that, but we're gonna find out. We'll see what happens. It doesn't have a. It's not gonna have a skeletal mesh like a lot of the other characters that I'll be creating. So the second character, for instance, is sort of like an angel, right? And it's going to be. I don't know how to describe it. If you took. Like if you, why is the camera so shitty? Can I move? No, move that. So if you took like a carrot and you put wings on it, right? It's kind of just a shell with wings, and it's going to be some mid-level character. So I'm actually for the attack sets to make sure everything's balanced. I'm actually pulling from a D&D monster manual, not the enemies themselves, but their stats and some ideas for their the way that they attack. Because D&D monster manuals, they go into really like intricate detail about how things are attacking and like the speed at which they attack. All that is super useful, and I think relatively unique. I haven't seen another game kind of steal from that. And since I'm not planning on selling this game, I kind of just want people to experience the story that I'm building. I think that's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, so those are the first two things that I'll be doing. I'll be doing a really simple slime with a rolling animation. I also will have a hit animation for everything. So so we have, for all the characters, we have hit, we have walk, we have run, and we have idle. And that's the list of animations that I'll be doing for each one. Hi, babe. My wife's in the chat now. So yeah, for each one we'll have hit, run, walk, and idle, and hopefully I don't come up with another animation set like halfway through the game, because then for every enemy I'll need to reprogram, or I'll have to redo that, like re-import the entire thing, reset it back up. There's not really an easy way to do that, but we're just gonna run through like we know what the fuck we're doing, and let's see what happens. All right. Let us do this. We're going to switch over to this next screen. Boom. That doesn't look good at all. This guy's not very nice. We're gonna move. You down? Cool. All right, I think we're good. Let's create a new blend file. New general. Let's save. I was just doing something for work there. Alright, first thing that I always do is I will hit save. This overstimulated thing is one that I posted to Twitter today, which is just like marketing stuff for myself. We're gonna go back. Unicarnival game. Oh no, where do I have this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Characters. I'm actually gonna create a new folder here. Just store this stuff. We already have one enemy in here, so I'm just gonna drag and drop you. Can I not do that? Nope. Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna do is that slime. I'm not gonna look up a reference. I think I can get a chubby teardrop in. And again, we're trying to do this as quickly as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to get it into the game. So let's do this. So we're gonna call this slime.blend. Cool. Delete you. Actually, I'm gonna delete these two. Day mesh. Add icosphere. Oh no, damn it. Shift A. Mesh. Icosphere. Drop down. Subdivisions. We don't want too many, but we want it to squish down properly, so we're going to do this. So what I did here was I created an icosphere, and I in this little drop-down menu below, I just increased the subdivisions slightly. One more thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab the color scheme for my game, if I can find it. Boom. Alright, just grabbing the color palette. So the next thing that I'm going to do is we're going to create a new material for this. And we'll go here. Then I do this 10 million times a day, much faster than this, but now that I'm on camera, I'm slow as shit. So I'll grab my color scheme, which is right here. Cool, cool, cool. Closest. If you guys are curious how I'm doing what I'm doing right now, how I'm coloring it, I can give a little walkthrough. It is dead simple though. So what I'm going to jump to now is just the UV editor. Jump into edit mode, select all, scale 0. And we're just going to make this green for right now. This isn't going to be what it stays as, but it's going to be a good option for now. So, what does a little slime monster look like? Let's find out. I know that we want to select the bottom, turn on O for proportional editing. M? No. G. Cool. So so what I did was I moved it up and then I scaled it on the Z-axis with proportional editing turned on. That is S, then O, then Z, or rather, like O, S, then Z. Proportional editing is just turned on, so you have to press it once. Now that we have kind of a baseline for our slime, we're actually going to turn off this. I'm going to go to Z, and we're just going to grab the top hex here. We're going to we want to wonder effort. And then GZ. Oh god. See, that's why you don't do that from that angle. So GZ. Again, I'm going for something that looks a bit different, so it's not going to look like a normal slime, but we want to have the normal. Yeah, so we have a relative slime look, right? So we're going to go to our x-axis. And all of the enemies in my game, the ones that have eyes at least, they have real spheres for eyes because I want them to be able to move around and look in a super creepy way. So there's a couple things that we need to do. We need to grab the mouth. We're going to are you serious? C and then middle mouse click to deselect with the circle. It's my favorite way to deselect. So now we have a little mouth thing here, and then we're going to drag the eyes in. So while in edit mode, so it keeps the material. We're going to add a couple of icospheres that will scale down without O on. Scale. GZ. Scale. GX. GZ. Just going to move that down until I can hardly see it. GY. Cool. Duplicate. Y. Shift D to duplicate. Y will force it to move along that axis. And then we're going to deselect everything just in case. And then L to auto select. I'm just pressing the L key to auto select. And then if you look down here, which you can see, these are all the vertices and how they're mapped out, which is why they're multiple colors. We'll hit A, scale, S for scale, and then hit 0 to make everything a single point. And then we'll just drag that over to the white. All right, so if we look at this, we already have a decent looking low poly slime character. But we're gonna go back in here See? What's the problem here? Can I select without C? Oh no, it was on vertex mode, that's why. Gotcha. I actually want to select these as well, so I'm just going to go in. Cool. And this is going to be red. Looks kind of horrifying, right? It's cute. I like it. Alright, we're going to go back in here. We're going to press L, R, X, R, Y. Yeah, R, Y. I'm just looking for a decent starting spot for... Oh, yeah. There it is. I seize it. Okay, so now we want to do a circle... deselect everything. Circle select on these eyes at a decent point, which I determined to be right there. Now we want to move this to... G. He looks hilarious. Isn't he adorable? And then at the very center of this, we're just going to grab one or two of these, and we're going to move it to light blue. Ah! And then I like to do this with all my characters, but I'm going to subdivide this and subdivide that. So right click, subdivide, and then I'm going to take the outer. I actually need to subdivide all these one more time. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, okay. So take the inner and then the outer. And then extrude faces along normals. Scale. GY, GX. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. This is just to make some rudimentary teeth. I think it's adorable. Or slightly terrifying. Yeah, who knows. I don't know how I'm doing on time here, but hopefully I'm not super far past 10 minutes. Okay, now we're going to move this over to white. Oh, missed these. G white. Oh, I see what the problem was. Okay. Nope. Move this over to white. The real solution to that and these would be, when I selected all of these like I did before, I should have scaled this UV map to 0, and then done the UV change. Okay, I'm actually incredibly happy with this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change its bottom to a darker green color, just to give it some depth, because we're not going to get that with... we do have cell shading on in the game, which will give it some shadow, but I want it to be really, really defined, that it sits kind of idle for a long time, so its bottom is quite a bit darker. Okay, I can't listen to this anymore. Just stop talking. Unacceptable. Alright, we got some RuneScape music playing. This is the way. Okay, so we got little homie here. He's adorable. We're going to go into view x-axis, go back into object mode, go into that, and then just the very bottom of him. So not even part of the curve, but we're just gonna make this 2 shades darker. And just for shits and gigs, we're actually going to go back into the x-axis. I don't have a numpad, so it makes it hard for me to traverse along the axes. But we're just gonna make the tip, and just the tip, a slight bit greener. It doesn't look great, but the thing is, when it hits into Unreal, Unreal will do some smoothing on it, which is great. And it adds cell shading, and it smooths all of the colors out. So I can be really lax here, and this style fits the game really well. And if you saw this tiny thing coming at you, like with those giant teeth, why a slime would have teeth, I don't know, but it's adorable. If you saw it coming at you, you'd be terrified. Right, okay, so now we need to get into animation, but to do that, we actually need to make this a soft body. So, now that we have our materials and our color set up, we're actually going to come in here and we're going to turn on soft body. Oh, I didn't, yeah, okay, we're good. Soft body. Oh, and just for, like, science sake, we're going to have to put a plane down here, so if we pause that, GZ, no. Yep, select you, GZ. Cool, we're going to shift a plane, scale it up. And then we're going to add a dark color for it. This plane doesn't go into the game, obviously, but this is so we can animate it. This will be a collision surface. That, 1 second, I gotta go back in. I just need to keep this other window open constantly, the shader editor. From here, I'm going to drag my color palette back in just to match up. Again, it doesn't matter because this isn't going to the game itself. Make that closest. And then UV editor, cool. Going to edit here, A scale 0, G, and we'll make it, sure, we'll make it kind of a dark blue black. So we need to go into here, here, add collision. I think that's it. Yeah, and now if we hit play, oh no, you sir. So you have kind of a relatively squishy surface here. I wouldn't say it's good, right? But the thing is, we're not going to be doing a lot of the animation here. In fact, maybe we should disable this and we should just animate it manually. Yeah. Okay, we're going to turn off the soft body. Yeah, soft body, goodbye. Okay, we'll delete this. Select U, G, Z, Alt G. Bring him back to the normal baseline. Actually, we want to bring him up a smidge so he is flat. GZ. Right there. Okay, so let's go to Dope Sheet. This guy doesn't have a body, so I can't really give him timeline first. He doesn't have a body, so I can't really give him bones, unfortunately. But first thing that I'm going to do is G. Okay, so we have a keyframe for his current position. Cool. And let's make the end of this 40, like everything else. So all my animations are 40 long. So at the very end, we're going to copy this over. Copy, paste. Cool. And at 20, we want to R X, no, Y, 180. And we're going to scale Z. Oh, see, this is rotations, and this, it's kind of stupid. So from here, we'd have to say R, Y, 180. So this isn't great, but we're going to make a lot more progress because there are things. So as he rolls, he needs to kind of scale himself wide. So if we were to say like scale X, Y, no, X, yeah. Scale Z. Move that over, move that back here. Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I might be better off just doing a like a squish animation. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do that for now. I really wanted him to roll, but I don't know how I'm gonna make him look soft, especially because I'm giving myself a time limit here. So, a walking animation. Actually, we're gonna have to go back into dope sheet. Dope sheet. Oh, fuck, it wasn't dope sheet, is it? It's action editor. Yeah. So we're gonna create a new idle animation, and this idle animation is gonna be dead simple. It's going to be scale Z. GZ. Yeah, idle animation. It's not like a lot of the other characters that are walking around. I want the slimes to just sit in whatever cave they're coming from. Oh my god, he looks hilarious. Just imagine walking up to this guy. This guy would take your girl. Okay, so we have our idle animation. We can create a new animation here, and we're going to call this walk, lowercase walk. We use that programmatically. So the walk is going to just be so here it needs to start in the walking animation, and here we're actually going scale Z. We're going to scale down Z a slight bit, and they're going to get into it, right? So we'll say, here, we're just going to delete these. So like he starts out already kind of squished, right? And he's getting into it. So 5 milliseconds in, he's going to scale Z even more because he's fucking, he takes all of his little goo energy to hop. So he's like, and then he should lean forward slightly. So R, Y. And 10, he needs to scale Z. Z. We're over exaggerating things, so he's. Oops. What? No. Get over here. So we're over exaggerating things. So he starts out already kind of squished, and we're going to over exaggerate him going down and twisting and then coming back up. And his resting state's going to be back at this original. So if we were to play this here, he doesn't have a landing animation, but it kind of looks like if you were moving in space and actually, just for science, we're going to actually move him up. In fact, we might need to anyways. So as he gets up to here, we're actually going to GZ. See how he collapses himself down to jump up. And when he lands, he needs to do the same thing. And we'll have 2 steps per walking animation. That's how I do all of my stuff. That might bite me in the ass later. But you can see he's... Okay, so we're going to copy this. We're going to move to here because we want him to... but he needs to stay... Actually, we're just going to copy all of this. Yeah, so copy, paste. Oh, see, that's gorgeous. It doesn't look great, but if you look at it from a different perspective, you can see that he kind of leans towards you. I don't like that it is... Yeah, we're going to fix that. Everything needs to be shifted over slightly. Okay. This might not be perfect, but we have a slime animation, a slime walking animation. And to be honest, if I'm gonna be lazy, all I ever do for my run animation, because I don't want to do like blend spaces to just speed up the animation, I duplicate this, call this run, and then I scale. We're gonna move this over, scale it up a little bit. G. It needs to be twice as fast, right? So we're gonna drop in right here. And then we're gonna just scale all of it. Scale until it fits. Cool, cool, cool. G. If you guys want, I can start naming out my commands. Again, it doesn't have to look great. If this guy's running towards you, like he sees you, yeah, it's fine. We'll add a sound effect in here as well, just something really gross sounding. Okay, now we need a, so we have, if we look here, we have idle, run, and walk. We now need a hit animation, and then we're all done with this guy. Again, it doesn't need to be great. Like, this is the best that I can do in the time that I have. And that's what's so cool about Blender and Unreal is you can make a game that doesn't look amazing. Like, you don't have to make, like, Naruto or, like, I had a friend that was like, I really want to make Naruto characters, but I don't know Blender. It's like, you can absolutely do that in Blender, but, like, sometimes making, like, simple things and actually, like, finishing something is better than trying to make something super complicated and never finishing it. So we're taking small steps. We're doing what we can. And that is this fucking nightmare monster. Ba-boom. Okay, so, did we already create our hit? No. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this. Call it hit. The reason I do this, in Dope Sheet, if you look at the action editor, you have this little menu here. Each one of these will be exported into Unreal and Unity, I believe, with a different animation. So you can pull them into a animation blueprint or a blend space, or, you know, both in my case, where an animation blueprint will lead to a blend space for walking and running that can then go back to hit in the blueprint. So we have our hit. Hit's going to be dead simple. We're actually going to delete all of these. Hit is a real simple one, so he's not scaled down, it doesn't look like. Hit is going to be half of his body really early on, shifting back X, and it looks hilarious. Oh, do we not have auto keyframes on? Oh, you suck. Action editor. Why didn't it? Oops. Okay, I have to pee as well. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. Don't go nowhere. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so let's figure out why we're not auto keying. We go back to our timeline editor. Timeline. Yeah, we have auto key turned on. Okay, so we'll jump ahead to really quick 5 seconds. So GY X. Knock his ass out of the park. Yeah, what the hell's going on? Oh, I was listening to myself. Making sure I had audio working. So we're making a hit animation. For anyone that doesn't know what's going on right now, since I walked away for a second, we are very quickly modeling a couple of enemies for the game Unival, which is just, it's a super low poly, very quickly made game to run my friends through a D&D campaign, basically. The idea, the premise around it is you'll have normal RPG aspects, but at any point I want to be able to jump in and possess an enemy and have their walking and hit animations and everything else controlled by me. So that's actually already working. Everything is inherited off of the third-person player controller, and AI will take over if there's no controller input. So at any point, like if somebody's talking to a priest and they want to have custom dialogue, I can already, with what is there right now, I can write dialogue. So when they prompt like a priest next, they'll say this thing next, right? And ideally for the enemies, like the big enemies, I want to be able to pause their actions and, you know, do whatever. It doesn't have to look good because it's, for one, I'm spending weeks making a, full RPG, weeks, months, making a full RPG just to play like a D&D campaign. But it's all my friends drunkenly playing this, right? So if they see like a low poly slime monster, they don't really care. So back to what I was doing. What it seems like is something that I didn't know, but if you do like a spatial edit like this, so like a transform like this, it doesn't key automatically. So we're gonna have to scale this. That still doesn't key automatically. What if I hit scale? Still doesn't. That's so bizarre. Like this is there, right? What if I get out of that and I say scale Z? Oh, that does. Okay. So we're gonna have to do it this way. So scale X, R, Y. So right off the bat, oops, copy. See, that doesn't, so for hitting for me is a couple of states. So he does need to go back to this default state about halfway through, but the initial hit takes a while and the recovery I want to take even longer. So if we were to play that, that looks all right, but I want another like higher hit state right here. So at 8, we're going to R, Y, throw them back even more, scale Z, scale X, X. Yeah, that it doesn't look great again, but if we it's kind of hilarious. I should be using shape keys, but again, like this doesn't need to be great. And this actually is the final animation that we need to do. So if we go back into Dope Sheet in our action editor, let's take a look at what we have here. So we're looking at the hit animation. It's fine. Actually, let's go into here so we can look at it here. Oh, I don't have a light in here right now. Let's add a light really quick. Or an object mode. Pause it. Light. Let's add a sun. Sure. So we have a little hit animation here. And then in the action editor, we're gonna run through. No, you. Let's take a look at the idle. Dead ass simple. Can't get any simpler. I can show you guys how to do these like multi animations as well. which allow you to export to Unreal or Unity, and it will export all of the animations separately and auto choose the skeleton, which is primo. It took me a while to figure this out because I couldn't find any like text tutorial on it on the web. But we have our idol. Let's choose run. Really simple. He just kind of bounces around, and this is just a double speed version of this. He kind of leans forward and he squishes at you until he comes and hits you. I don't have attack animations yet because it's going to be handled with with GUI elements, right? So it'll say you've been hit. But I want when you swing or like cast at someone, I want like the hit animation to like play regularly. Yeah. Okay. If we were to save that, we have our slime.blend. Oh, it's going to take its sweet time saving, it seems. Don't you dare crash on me, Blender. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's it. Honestly, we have our first enemy. We're going to do one more, and we'll see how we're feeling. We'll see how y'all are feeling. File, new, general, save. All right, so first thing we always do is delete these two because they're annoying and they get in the way. So now we're going to be creating our little angel guy. He's quite a bit more complicated. So what I'm going to do is, first thing, I'm going to select you. We're going to go into the subdivide modifier, subdivision surface. This is actually exactly what I want, this little guy right here. We'll apply this right now. And then, because I need him to be symmetrical, we're going to go here. We're going to go into edit mode, vertices select, and then delete you, vertices. Cool. So now we have half and half, and this way we can make them symmetrical all the way through. So we'll go back into X mode, and then we'll say mirror modifier on the Y-axis. Cool. Now we have a mirrored surface. We can't edit any of these, obviously, because it's just mirrored. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select, go to face select by pressing 3. Select, oops, get off of that, select you and you, and we're going to scale this down, G, Y. Oh, we need to turn clipping here, so clipping, now that's one thing, G, Y. So those are now joined. So when you turn that clipping modifier, it will join nearby faces as you do things, as you generate things. So now extrude that and scale, and they're one piece. We actually want to scale this. Oops. Scale 1 down to a point. This is just this is all coming from my head. I didn't really draw this out, but now we can go back into our X-ray vision. Back to X, and we're going to select all of you, and we're going to extrude Z. No, scale. Extrude Z. Z. I'm not sure exactly what I want these to look like, other than like they're going to kind of look like a mixture between an angel and a bumblebee. But certainly with angel wings. So we had I to inset, I to inset, G, Y, G, Z. Those look like they're joined to you? Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, those are definitely joined. So if we were to extrude those into a sort of neck, then G, X. Oh, we definitely need to move these faces too. Okay, GX, scale down. And we're gonna grab this vertices GX. Cool, see how he's kind of hunched over and chunky still? Let's grab his back vertice and GX. I'm just selectively grabbing these now to flatten everything out evenly. Okay, so now we have like a bean shape. This is exactly what I was looking for. Purposefully low poly, you get the idea that it is, I don't know, like a shell. Like a man that does nothing but watch TV, like watch football games and drink beer, like me. Right? Okay, so we got this. Cool. Now we want to select all of these vertices, go there. We're going to select them and scale Y. Cool. Scale X. GX. RY. Cool. Looks like a head kind of, right? Cool, cool, cool. That could be rounder. In fact, I'm going to make it rounder. So let's go back here. We're going to select these 3 vertices and not you. And we're just going to GY. Yeah, to make that point a little bit more. Okay, cool. Do we want to grab these edges? Yeah, we're going to grab this edge. We're going to GY, GX. Nope. What the hell is that? GX? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. And GX. Pull that down to make sure that those things connect. Okay, cool. So now we have this little bee body shape that we want. We're going to now select this face. That's the only thing selected. Cool. We're going to I to inset. Oops. If you didn't know, so if you have like your mouse really close, it makes it very hard to get detailed here when you press something. So if you have something selected and you want to modify it, pull your mouse farther away and you get quite a bit more control. All right, so now I can just do GZ and then I can extrude this face out exactly how I want. And I'm actually just going to pull this here and then extrude one more time and extrude it down. So it sounds or looks super weird right now, but what I'm going to do is something quite a bit more interesting than this, which is subdividing this a lot. Subdivide, subdivide. And then we'll have little blades coming out of the wing. So we just choose cool. If I were to just grab this down and do that, it wouldn't look terrible, but it kind of looks like he just has little flags on him. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to inset, and then extrude down, then scale. Extrude down, then scale. Even that looks like ass, right? It doesn't look great. It's not what I had in mind, so we're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna have to do this one by one. So, no, go back here, and then see. No, I just want to select those edges. We'll scale that down separately. Cool, cool, cool. We're actually going to jump in here and we're going to scale that. Can I just GX and GY? No, that was even worse. Yeah, okay. Honestly, this is fine because we're going to add some bones to this and it's going to look halfway decent. So let's add our bones and we'll see what happens. So if we were to apply this mirror modifier, because we're basically done, jump into object mode, apply. We also want to go here. We already have our material, so let's go into the shader editor. Jump in here. Grab our color palette. Cool, cool, cool. All right, it doesn't look great still, but you know, we're making do. I think just the entire thing needs to be scaled on the y-axis. Scale X. X. You know, that's kind of closer to what I wanted. It's a lot more slender. It doesn't look as chunky. Okay, cool. So go into the UV editor. We're going to go into edit mode. Select all. A scale 0. G. I did actually think about what color these should be. Thinking gunmetal gray. And then if you select, let's just huge select the wings. Cool. We're going to make them slightly darker. Not that you can tell. Why can't you tell? Make them even darker. Cool. Now we're going to select all yellow. And we're going to make those straight white. Cool. Now that we're in object mode, let's add an armature. Single bone. Let's just look up in front. Cool. So now you can always see the bone there. So this bone is already in the dead center of this guy, so we're going to go into edit mode here, and we're going to extrude Z. We want him to be able to buckle over in pain, but not really anything else. And we're going to extrude Y. GZ. Cool. Extrude Y. Can't see exactly where this is. GY. GZ. And then we also want to extrude Z. Extrude Z. Cool. Now his head and everything, his wings aren't perfect. Let's fix those really quick. GY, X. GX. Cool. These don't need to be perfect, right? It just, we're getting a dummy model for this thing. So let's, now that we're in object mode again, we're going to select both of these. We're going to parent with automatic weights. Oh, okay, so that's not gonna work. So we're gonna undo that. We have to go in here and we have to go into edit mode, mesh, clean up, fill holes, see if anything happened there. It doesn't look like it did. Cool, so now we go into mesh, clean up, merge by distance, remove 0, and mesh, clean up, delete loose, nothing. Okay. Parent with automatic weights. Still, which one? So it seems that we have a face here that isn't completely filled. I can't tell exactly where it is. Let's make sure we don't have anything funky going on in here. No, we got nothing. Mesh, clean up, merge by distance. I just do A, F. Yeah. There's no ability to create a merge face. Oh, is it you? Oh, I see ya, you son bitch. What are you? G, Z. Yeah, sure, just do that. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I hit face here. Okay, and we're going to select all, and we're going to try to merge by distance again, but, oh god. Mesh. Clean up, merge by distance, and then we're going to lower that distance significantly. Okay, so we still have what we're looking for, and we should have closed all the gaps. So now we're going to go back into object mode, select you, then select you, then select you. Parent with automatic weights. Cool, that worked this time. I don't know what was not fully closed, but it was something. Who knows? Cool. So now we're going to go into pose mode just to make sure everything is good. So if we were to rotate this on the Z-axis, right? Rotate Z, and then rotate X, R, X. Right, we can move all of his stuff naturally. So we're gonna undo that. We're gonna go into timeline, turn this on automatically, set the max of the timeline to 40, just like all of our other characters, and then we will go into go into dope sheet, and then from dope sheet go into action editor. We're gonna create a new one. This one's gonna be called idle. Idle is going to be relatively simple, so we take the entire thing. Cool. The reason why he's moving so fast is because he's gonna have a little wing animation. So his first animation will be RZ. Actually, let's undo that. So RZ20. Cool. RZ20. -20. I like doing this by numbers because it's way easier to grok. So both of these are going to be, so these are forward now. So if he's falling, he's letting his wings come forward and out. So it would be RZ -10, RZ10, and then RY 10, RY 10. Yeah. So it's not subtle enough, actually. So RY 20 here, RY 20. So as you can see, he's on his way down, and he pulls his wings forward and then up. And now he needs to continue to push through as he goes back up to here. Where does he start to drop down? So here, he's going to continue to push his wings through. So we'll do RX, RY, RX, go to this view, RX, RY, Cool, so now we have a relatively good little starting animation here. No, I don't like that. This is fine. He looks great. Oh, that beer is going through me. I don't really have an idea for a hit animation here, but that's all I wanted to show you guys. That's it. We're done. That's the end of the live stream. Like, we have some basic characters in here. He doesn't look great, but I'll give him some color. I'll flesh out the idea more because this one just wasn't fully fleshed out like some of my other monsters. But yeah, the deed is done. That's it. I mean, it's relatively simple to create dead-ass like simple monsters, right? There's nothing to it. It's just a couple polygons. You can go in there and modify whatever you need to, like I did. When this thing is thrown into Unreal with my post-blend material, post-processing material, sorry, it's gonna look great, even though it's not done yet. You know what we didn't do that I always do? We need to save this. I call this Angel. Yeah. It's not as good as some of my other animations. It's better than some of my other animations. But I did it in, I think, less than 10 minutes, so. What are you gonna do? That's it, that's all I got. Hopefully I can use this and cut it up. I wanted to make sure this stream wasn't too long because I want to go in and modify it and release it to YouTube later.